Hello and welcome back to another video. If this is your first video, welcome. We're happy to see you. Happy Valentine's Day. So if you follow me, you would have noticed that I didn't post a video on Friday, and that's because I was holding this video back specifically for Valentine's Day. It's a special holiday video that I've been working on for a while. So basically, the concept behind it is I wanted to combine the phrase "love is blind," the soulmate red string of fate, and the concept of Eros / Cupid into like a composition, like a character design. And so I wanted to create a blind character, vaguely based on Eros. If you don't know who Eros is the god of romantic love, from Greek mythology. He is depicted as a young male. He's where we get our idea of cherubs from. And Cupid. But I wanted to create a blind character that had callbacks to both Eros and the red string of fate. So basically, this character is a middleman for the red string of fate that connects two soulmates. The red string of fate is every pair of soulmates has a red string that attaches them to each other, and sometime in their life it will lead them to meet, is the basic concept behind it. So basically this character is the middleman between those. They are blind, but the red string of fate acts as their guide for their arrows. So they are helping the two ends of the red string meet, basically. Arrows, but with a twist. Now I wanted to give this character fairly neutral expression. Like, neutral in feminine / masculine. I wanted to make them fairly neutral. Because the concept of love isn't expressly femininely or masculine. So I wanted to give aspects of both. I also wanted to call back to the Greek mythology by basing like the ethnicity of the character off of Greek, like ancient Greek. Because Greece as a population tended to mold into the countries around it. So like your typical ancient Greek person would have fairly bronzed skin and dark curly hair. It's stereotypical. So I wanted to get into that, and I think it came out very pretty. The outfit that I put them in is stereotypically feminine. It's called a chiton. Chiton, chiton, chiton. It's an ancient Greek type of tunic. It's one piece of cloth that wraps around the body and is tied at the shoulders and tied around the waist with a rope, so it's open on one side. But I feel figured it would provide a free flowing cloth element to the piece that it needed to give it more movement. And really, it did need more movement. I had a lot of fun doing all the cloth folds. No, one other thing that I did with this was a special little challenge for me. I had been looking at some of my old work since I'm going back to my old lining style. I had been looking at some of my old videos, and I was surprised by the amount of shading that I used to do, because ordinarily I only do 1 to 2 layers of shading and then 1 to 2 layers of highlights. But I used to do like 6 layers of shading and highlights. So I put the challenge to see how many layers of shading and highlights layers of shading and highlights I could do on the piece until it felt done. So I would do a little bit, and then I would stop, and then I would do a little bit more, and then I would stop. And I did this over a good week and a half, and I really like how it came out. It has a lot of depth, and it has a lot of color variation, and it's not super flat. It's more painterly than I normally go for. Like, it was an interesting little challenge. I ended up doing 19 shading layers and highlight layers in the end. Like, this ended up being a 12-hour project, with most of it being shading. Like, you'll see, most of this is shading. Lining, coloring, nah. Most of it's shading. But, I think it was a good experience. Like, that is one thing that I do want to try this year, is painting. Like, digital painting. Like, it's something that has been intimidating to me. So I want to face it head on. Like, the concept of, like, not keeping things in layers, or having everything in one layer and just painting over it and keeping whatever happens, terrifies the shit out of me. But I needed to try new things. I need to, because otherwise I will stifle my progress. And I don't want to become sterile. I really want to try new things. Now, sometime in the either later this month or in March, I'm going to start live streaming more. Like, I want to yes, do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday live stream. But I want to try and see if I can live stream every day of the week, at least a little bit, and see how that works for me. Either by doing art or doing games or whatever. I wanna see you guys. I wanna engage. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I live stream here on YouTube and on Twitch. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. EST. Sometimes I'm late, sometimes I'm not. It really just depends. Follow my Twitter for updates. I always post there if I'm going to be late or if the stream is canceled or whatever. Like I post when I go live, etc. But I wanna challenge myself. Like, I'm having minor surgery on Monday, so I might not stream, but I want to see if I can stream every day. At least for a week. I want to see what that's like. Because, like, if you guys didn't know, I have some health conditions. So this is my job. And if I want this to actually be a viable career for me, I need to put more work into it. Get an audience going. Like an active audience. Like, I know there's almost 5,000 of you, but most of you are not active. And I understand that. You guys came for the Five Nights at Freddy stuff, and I stopped posting the Five Nights at Freddy stuff. That's my fault. Now, if Scott keeps making more games, I might post more. Don't know. But I don't wanna be known as a Five Nights at Freddy's artist. I wanna be known as me. You know what I mean? I make my own art. I don't just make fan art. I have my own characters. I have my own aspirations. Like, I want to make a coloring book of extinct or almost extinct animals. I want to make a bunch of things. I want to make stickers. I want to make pins, but I don't have the audience for it. I want to make things. And so I gotta work for it. And it's as simple as that. So those are my plans. Oh yeah, here's the first layer of shading. I did my standard soft shading for this layer. This one I think took the most time because I was most detailed with it. I always like this color for shading. The purple goes well with skin tones, while also being bluey. Like bluish. Because if you look at shadows, they're blue a lot of times. But it doesn't, like, make the skin tones look dead, which is kind of the issue with greens. But, yeah. No, this was a darkening. Almost cell shady, but softer. More additive than the subtractive shading that I did the first time. And this one actually was blue. trying to define muscles and edges. And starting to define the cloth barriers. Deciding to make the cloth two-toned was a pretty good decision because it helps the visual understanding of the picture. Because, like, once you get all the shading on, telling the front and back is a little bit more difficult. Because if it's the same color. So, making them slightly different colors helped bring out the difference. If that makes sense. Like making one pink and one purple, it highlighted the difference. Makes it more obvious. Here's another shading layer. Forgot the toenails for a while. And then my first highlight layer. Now, finally having gradients at my disposal has been a treat. Because not having gradients in Sci 1 was a friggin' disaster. They're always useful. Okay, here is the more cel shaded layer that I did. That I ended up making really, really faint because I didn't really like it that much. I need to not be so critical of cel shading. Maybe I should do an entire video that's cel shaded. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think in the comments. It would get me out of my box. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas of what you would like to see from me in the future, I have a Google Doc form in my comic, and not in my comments, in my description. It's about the 6th line down, I believe. You can just go on there and anonymously tell me what you guys want to see, and I'll see it. And I've done quite a few of the suggestions from there before. It's real fun. I'd love to know what you guys want to see. This highlight layer is really pretty. I think this was an overlay layer with just pure white. It really brought out the bronze stones in his skin. I was debating putting stars in their eyes for like the phrase starry-eyed lover, if that makes sense. But I decided against it. And then here's the red string of fate. Of course it had to glow. And I think we're about done. Yeah, we're about done. And of course, their message to the world. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to do texture. Just a texture on their clothes. As always, the best place for updates is right here, or my Twitter, at Pookie15_art. If you are new here and like what you've seen and want to see more, go ahead and leave me a like, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. If you didn't and want me to know what I can do to be better, why don't you tell me in the comments? I read them all. And last but not least, let's thank my patrons, those friends of mine that keep the blood flowing in my veins. Cuernos, Ravenfire, and Ashley Coe. See you in the next video.